Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. It's WIP It Wednesday for Wednesday, March 5th, 2020. If you want to see what I've been working on this week, please stay tuned. When it comes to the sewing room this week, I think the most interesting thing is that I have sewn 0 items. I haven't even looked at my sewing machine. I may have just passed by it and patted it on the shoulder and said, sorry, you're not getting worked on this week. But I did a little bit. One thing that I did was I got that prom dress altered. I ended up having to go back and fit with the girl. She didn't have the right undergarments the first time, and so when I did it, it was too snug. She couldn't zip it up. And it really caused me some stress, number one, because I didn't want to do it, and then number two, because it was more challenging than I could handle. But finally what ended up happening was all of that stress resulted in 2 1-inch seams right under the in the underarm, because it's a strapless, and so once she had on the right undergarments, it was 2 little tiny seams on the inside, and then it fit perfect. So at least it's done and off my plate. I don't think that I want to alter any clothing again, just because of now I've learned a lot about some about how to do it, but I just don't think it's my jam. I really don't want to do it. Hopefully next time I will have the courage to say, no, I'm not comfortable doing that, and let them give that job to somebody else. But glad it's done. One thing that I did was I planned out the graduation quilt. If you've been following my channel, you've already seen the video for getting this drawn out. There are a few little changes that I want to make. I want this center portion, or this portion here, to be closer to the center. So I got to figure out how I can do that once I have the fabric out. But I'm going to lay it out on the floor after I get all the fabric cut, and then I think I should be able to move it the way that I want to. But at least, so here's the inspiration, here's my drawing. The next step is to determine how much fabric I need, so I'll be doing that in the next couple days, and then pulling some fabric, probably having to go to the fabric store. I did pull a few things from my stash. This quilt is primarily blue and yellow and orange. So I pulled some blues. That is not really a blue, but I kept it out anyway. I pulled some yellows that I have. These are like my only big pieces of yellow. And then orange, this is like the only orange that I saw in my stash. So I have a little bit of concerns about the flowers and about the dots, but if they make it into the quilt, they will be used very sparingly, because I don't think that my son would prefer his entire quilt to have flowers and dots. That's just my own personal preference. So I have to choose some fabrics that are more in line with his taste, or what I think his taste would be. It is, since I'm going to do the tumbling blocks design, it's a scrappy quilt, so there really is no need for being super specific about the fabrics, and they're going to be relatively small pieces. So I'll be working on this next week, just to see how much fabric I need and start gathering it. Maybe I'll get to the cutting and laying out. We'll see. The last thing, I just pulled this out because I need to hit it really hard. I got invited to a flea market at the beginning of April, where I can go and set up a table and sell some things. So I'm really excited about that opportunity. I still have tote bags from last year when I did the craft fairs. I still have zipper pouches. I would like to, I think, have a quilt finished. So I'm thinking about finishing that Heartbeat Bargello quilt, which of course would mean I have to go ahead and get the backing fabric very soon so that I could start quilting it. Again, I'm not sure, because I do have my son's graduation quilt that's just something that in the back of my mind, I would love to have a quilt that I can sell at the flea market. Another thing that I have, these are tote bags that I didn't get finished before my last craft fair. There are, it looks like there are 4 of them. 1, 2, I'm looking at the straps here to see how many straps I have right here. So maybe 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so there are 4 that need to be finished. So probably this week, these won't take a long time to finish up. So maybe I'll do those too. Hopefully I can get them finished because I really want to see what these are going to look like. This is just a little smidge of the outside fabric and then the lining fabric, so that all of that stuff will be ready ahead of time. And if I go ahead and get these tote bags done, then I can really put the rest of my energy, as far as that's concerned, on that quilt. I do have pillows. I still have 3 pillows to finish, and I have some bears now that I will need to work on too. So I really need to sit down and discover, think about what my schedule is going to be, because all of those things need to get done. So I hope in the next week I can get a little bit of my sojo back and start sitting behind that sewing machine and getting some work done. What have you been working on this week? Leave it in the comments below. Also tell me some of the things that you've done to, if you haven't felt like sewing, what are some things you've done to get back into the groove and get that sojo back? I'd love to hear that in the comments. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!